I choose a Shakespeare production every year because I love the fact that these messages that he wrote about and these ideas that he had are still so omnipresent. They still relate to any time, any place, any group of people. And I also love the fact that they're written in this old English Shakespearean language, because as a middle schooler, what's cooler than being faced with a code and having to figure out how to crack that code? And then once you crack it, you've got this secret language that only you guys know. Then, of course, you are tasked with having to make your audience understand that language. But how cool to have the power of language on your side and to get people listening to you decode it and add meaning to it. Macbeth is a play that I love. It's a tragedy that I love. It's a weird thing to say, but it is. The thing that's amazing about middle school and about becoming a teenager is that you start to identify with different archetypes, and you start to see that maybe you're a bit more of a leader, or maybe you're the artistic one, or maybe you're a bit more of the class clown or the joker, or maybe you're the romantic, or the flirt even, or the athlete, any of these things, the warrior. In Macbeth, these archetypes are so prevalent, and not only that, but he wears many hats. So he's multiple archetypes. There's 4 Shakespearean archetypes: the royal, the warrior, the lover, and the fool. And Macbeth really is all 4. And our kids sometimes are all 4 of these archetypes. So that's one of the main reasons why I chose it. I wanted them to be able to explore a character and a play where one person is many things, and they have to sort of negotiate being many different things. And the other reason that I chose it is because I'm noticing so heavily this year especially that there is such a pressure to succeed that's coming out of these young people. There's this pressure to do great things, to make everything important, to make everything meaningful, to never fail in any way. It's this too big to fail mentality, literally, that I'm seeing formed at such a young age, and that happens in this play, and there's a pretty strong message about it. He's too big to fail. He becomes the king, and there's no way up from there. He's at the top, and he steps on a lot of people to get there, and he does a lot of things to succeed, and the pressure gets to him, and the guilt gets to him. And I think that to a lesser extent when it comes to life and death, but definitely to a school extent and a friendship extent, that's something that our kids need to hear. It's a lesson that they could use. So I decided to do something a little bit different with this production, and to actually bring these archetypes to life physically. So Macbeth, if he's 4 different archetypes, he has some sort of emotion that relates to each one of those archetypes. So one of them is greed, one of them is fear, one of them is compassion or passion. At different moments it's sort of more compassion, at some moments it's more passion, and one is guilt. So those 4 different emotions that are related to the archetypes are active and physicalized on stage, and they're played by 4 different actors. So when you see Macbeth on stage, once one of those archetypes comes up, once he feels one of those emotions, that actor appears and doesn't leave him. The same goes for Lady Macbeth. So that's why you see 4 additional actors playing Macbeth and 4 additional actors playing Lady Macbeth. It should be really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to see how the audience responds to it. So you know how you see yourself differently than other people see you. You know how you would look in a mirror and you would see somebody staring back at you that might look different to you than to me if I were speaking to you. So we thought about this whole idea of mirrors, and that if the characters were to look into mirrors, they might see things that other characters who looked at them wouldn't see, or that audience members wouldn't see. They might see something sort of distorted in them. They might look and they might see that that their face almost has a shadow that could be related to what's going on inside of them that the audience wouldn't see. So we thought of mirrors and distortion, and then we came up with the idea of like carnival funhouse mirrors, and we just kind of couldn't go back from there. So welcome to the fun house when you come to Macbeth. The setting is sort of a carnival circus type fun house. There are games. When the audience arrives, they're encouraged to play these games. They may or may not win a prize. And these very same games in this carnival are games that Macbeth and Lady Macbeth have played. And they have emerged the victors. But the prizes, they're not exactly what you would think. So what's happened is that they've played the game, but now, through the action, the game's kind of playing them.